What's new, crew? Welcome back to my channel. If you're new, my name's Cassandra and I'm going to be talking about my meal plan for August. If you're brand new and you've never seen any of my videos, I grocery shop once a month to save myself time and money and all of those things. So I make a meal plan for the entire month that I am shopping for, and then off that make my grocery list and then do my shopping. In these videos, I share my meal plan with you guys, all 31 meals for the whole month of August. I have them right here. Here we go. And if you're wondering why we're outside, don't let the sun fool you. It's actually 6 a.m. and I filmed this video yesterday, but realized when I went to go edit it this morning, camera was out of focus literally the entire time. So here we are, take 2. We're gonna refilm it, and I'm sitting outside because I don't want to wake my kids up with me jibber jabbering about all the things. So we're gonna sit outside. It's cool. It's delicious. It's beautiful. Cup of coffee. So let's go ahead and do these things. All right, I'm gonna just start listing off all my meals, all 31. You're going to hear duplicates. I don't just make totally different meals every single day. We do eat one meal or 2 meals multiple times, and then I always schedule in a leftovers day just to make sure that we're actually using up our leftovers. We might not eat them right away the day after it's made. It might be something that I freeze and then I'll pull the leftovers out of the freezer and we'll eat it 2 or 3 weeks later. Just a different span throughout the month, just to give us variety, because not everybody likes to eat the same meal 3 days in a row. You know what I mean? So the first meal is spaghetti. That's always what I start with because it's just a good starting point. It's a meal everybody will eat, nobody will complain about, and spaghetti is delicious. So first meal is spaghetti. Meal number 2 is tacos. Those are always my first 2 meals for the same reason. Nobody complains about eating tacos, so we're gonna do tacos as well. Meal number 3, I realized that I never made my favorite pasta salad, and it's practically almost the end of summer. If that could be a way to measure time, as practically almost, that's what I'm gonna use. So it's almost the end of summer. I want to make this pasta salad. It's just the Italian rotini pasta, like salad dressing, and then the ham chunks and cheese chunks and the cherry tomatoes. Delicious. So I'm gonna make that this month, and I'm gonna pair it with some grilled chicken just for a really easy meal. I want to do a sheet pan kielbasa dinner. This is something that I've had on my menu like 100 times for the last couple months, and we've just never made it. So I really want to make that this month because it looks really delicious and super easy. So I'm gonna throw that in this month as well. Also gonna do a sheet pan chicken dinner. It's really general, but basically it's just gonna be root vegetables, probably some broccoli, and then some sort of marinated chicken. It's gonna be rather straightforward. I'll probably pick something for the marinade on that day. It might be teriyaki. It's usually teriyaki because that's what everybody likes, but it could be barbecue. I've got honey mustard, so some sort of jarred sauce over some chicken, and I'm gonna throw it in the oven and call it done. When I was scrolling Pinterest to make my meal plan, I saw this cabbage and kielbasa soup that I really wanted to try, so I'm gonna do that. I don't know how my family is going to like it, being that it just has cabbage in it. I do throw cabbage in my soups and my stews occasionally, probably twice a year. Kids and my husband don't like cabbage. I do. However, I do like to throw it in because they can try it and see if they like it, and who knows, sometimes they eat it, sometimes they don't, but I wanted to give it a try just because it's something new, and we are going to be transitioning towards the end of August into more fall weather, and it seemed like a really good meal to do on one of those colder days, so I wanted to give that a try. We're gonna do baked chimichangas, which is something I do often. I just pre-make my stuffing in my crock pot, and it's chicken, rice, cheese, cream cheese. Pretty simple. Sometimes I throw in corn, sometimes I throw in a can of beans. Just really simple in my crock pot, and then I just stuff them in my taco shells and roll them up and bake them in the oven with a little bit of butter on top, or even some coconut oil on top, and it's really, really good. Sloppy joes for just another really easy meal. I have everything I need for that meal minus the buns, so essentially I'm gonna have an entire meal for 85 cents because that's what hot dog or hamburger buns cost at Aldi, is 85 cents. We're also gonna do KFC bowls. I stole this idea from Katie Mack about a year ago, and we've done it every couple months. Everybody really likes it. It's another one of those really easy convenience meals. I'll make my potatoes from scratch, or my mashed potatoes from scratch. Sometimes I get the packets from Aldi for 80 cents or whatever it is to make it a little bit easier on myself depending on how busy we are, but just mashed potatoes, some popcorn chicken, a little bit of gravy, and some corn, and my kids are ecstatic when we make that meal. We're gonna do hot sandwiches and tomato soup or Mrs. Grass soup. Just depending, I might make tomato soup and a packet of Mrs. Grass soup because they're so cheap. You might as well just make them both and let people pick what they want. I love hot sandwiches for dinners versus a regular cold sandwich because it's hot and I feel like it fills everybody up a little bit better. I like to make mine on Texas toast, so it's that really thick toast. Once again, helps fill everybody up, but just some, you know, mozzarella cheese or some cheddar cheese, some lunch meat, some pepperoni, and everybody is really, really happy. Sometimes we do french fries with that meal. It just kind of depends. We're gonna do crunch wraps because I'm gonna have everything I need for them for other meals like the tacos and stuff, so I might as well get another meal out of all those ingredients I'm already gonna have. So we're gonna throw crunch wraps in there. Everybody eats that meal really well. It's very quickly becoming something that is sticking to our regular rotation of meals. We're gonna do strombolis, and I have videos that I've made in the past on how I make strombolis and calzones. However, when I was scrolling through Pinterest, I saw instead of how I make them, I will fold off the edges and kind of pleat them off like you would a Hot Pocket or something. But I saw that they actually roll them up like a Yule log on Pinterest, and just looked interesting to me. So I wanted to try that and see if it actually made a difference or not. I just thought it was really interesting, and I also thought it would be good to, well, first off, it's going to be way easier. It's going to save me a lot of time. And second off, I feel like they'll freeze really well because all you have to do is roll it, and then I could cut them into divided sections and throw them in my freezer, and then you could just pull them out and pop them in the microwave, and it'd be like a homemade Hot Pocket basically. And I feel like they'd be really good in my husband's lunches or just as snacks, because my husband comes home from work and he wants to eat like something small before we eat dinner sometimes. Or kids are going back to school when the kids get off the bus, because my kids have a longer bus ride. It's about an hour. Sorry kids, that's what happens when you live in the middle of nowhere. They come home, they're wanting a snack, so that's something that I could just throw in the microwave, and it's a little bit better than like pizza rolls or like a traditional Hot Pocket or something. So I wanted to try those and see how that goes because I'm curious. Everybody loves pot pies. I have everything I need for it. Might make my own pie crust. I have some pre-made crusts I might use up. It kind of depends how enthusiastic I'm feeling that day about the pot pies. We're gonna do meatball subs because that's a meal my husband loves, and I don't make it that often typically because I don't really love that meal that much, but everybody else really likes it. So I'll just get a big family-sized bag of meatballs from Walmart, and that'll feed our family for probably 2 or 3 meals because the bags are so big. So we're gonna do those. Sometimes I might take the rest of those meatballs and do spaghetti and meatballs, or something really simple, but it's one of those meals I can just throw the meatballs in my crock pot with a jar of marinara sauce, let it go all day, and dinner's done basically. So I really like meals like that. We're gonna do chicken gravy and mashed potatoes. That's another meal I just throw in my chicken breasts in the crock pot with a couple spices, a little bit of water, and then I'll throw in a packet of pre-made chicken gravy. Throw that in there, or even you could get one of those jars of chicken gravy. I know Aldi sells them, and your dinner's done. You don't have to do anything. I'll just shred the chicken in the crock pot. We will sometimes eat it over buns for a pulled chicken sandwich, but my family tends to eat it better over mashed potatoes, so we'll do that. Sometimes I'll just throw the potatoes in the microwave and make baked potatoes, and everybody can throw them over baked potatoes and everyone's super happy. Might steam some broccoli or something with it, but that's a meal everybody loves. It's a really good meal heading into that fall weather because it keeps you warm, warms you up from the inside, and there's nothing better than that. Sometimes we'll also make like a box of stuffing, and it feels like a little small Thanksgiving dinner that everybody eats really well, so I love that meal. We're gonna do quesadillas. This is another one that I think I might make a ton of and freeze some quesadillas just to pull out once like kids are coming home from school. The same thing with the strombolis. Here's, you know, I can grab a big quesadilla and split it between some of my kids or my husband or whatever. It's also one of those things that I could just pull out for lunches on a weekend or something while we're all home, kind of whatever it is. We can pull them out of the freezer and take them to the park with us, all of those things. We're gonna do a fish dinner, but this is a meal we're actually gonna do twice because I have so much fish in my freezer right now. I'm really trying to clean out my freezers a little bit to make room for some freezer meals that I plan on doing for the upcoming months. So I'm trying to clean out some of those bulkier items. We're gonna do fish twice, and this is a sheet pan dinner that I'll do. I'll just marinate my fish for a couple of hours, put it on a sheet pan, usually with some root vegetables, because we're heading into that season where root vegetables are going to be super cheap. So carrots, some variety of potatoes, like I'll do russet potatoes, purple potatoes, red potatoes, sweet potatoes, onions, broccoli, cauliflower. Toss them all in olive oil and usually just some salt and pepper. Roast them in the oven on the same pan as my fish, and it's delicious. So everybody loves that meal, and it's super healthy too, so we love that. We're gonna do chicken cordon bleu. This is a meal that I've said I'm gonna make for months, just like that Kia pasta sheet pan, and it's just never happened. I have everything I need for it in my freezer. I just need to actually make the dang thing. So we're gonna do that this month because it needs to happen. I need to get some of that stuff out of my freezer. So that is going to happen this month. We're gonna do pork chops and some sort of veg. I can link down below my smothered pork chop recipe. It's super easy. It's just a can of cream of mushroom soup, kind of diluted down with some milk, and then a packet of Lipton's onion soup mix. Throw that over my pork chops, put it in the oven, and it's basically like a Salisbury steak, but it's with a pork chop, so it's a super lean cut of meat and also super cheap cut of meat. And then I'll just do the same thing. I'll roast some vegetables, and everybody loves that meal. Heading into the fall and into the winter, if you're going to stick around for my meal plans and my what's for dinners and things like that, you're gonna see a lot of roasted root vegetables because it's super cost efficient and everybody likes it. It's super healthy, so all of those things are really good. So heading into that, that's what you're gonna see. And also, I know you can't see it, but I have a garden over there, and it's just full of root vegetables, and we're growing. We have like 10 broccoli plants, 10 cauliflower plants, a ton of zucchini going coming up right now. So you're gonna see a lot of those heading into some freezer meals and different things like that, so we can enjoy them all winter long. We're also gonna do chicken wraps. It's a super easy meal. I'll grill some chicken. We'll just wrap them up in a tortilla, usually with some turkey bacon, some different vegetables, pickles, different things like that. And everybody loves that meal. Sometimes we'll throw in some ranch or some avocado. Everybody really, really likes it, including my kids, which I love. And they think it's super fun because I'll just lay out all of the vegetables and all the cheeses and the dressings out on the island. And they get to come up like a little buffet and kind of place their order. It's really fun. They kind of think it's like a game. They just come up and, you know, hi, I'm your customer, this is what I want, make me my roll up, and that's what I do, and it's really fun. So, and I find that when I find meals like that, my kids eat it better because it's more interactive for them. Same thing when I do like homemade pizzas, we'll do the same thing. Sometimes I make little individual crusts, and the kids will just all come up and make their own pizzas, and I find that they eat it way better that way. This is another meal I found on Pinterest. It's a lazy beef noodle and gravy thing. I used to make this a lot a couple of months ago when beef was a little bit cheaper, with beef steak tips. However, now they're super expensive, so I haven't made that meal in probably 3 or 4 months. You haven't seen beef tips in my grocery hauls. That's because they're super expensive right now. And when I saw on Pinterest that someone made it with just regular old hamburger, I was like, obviously I should have done that, like, that's duh. So I'm gonna do that as well, and I'm really excited to make that meal just with some hamburger, a little bit of beef gravy, and we'll eat that over noodles. Sometimes we'll eat it over mashed potatoes, just depending on what everybody wants. Typically I'll ask like noodles or potatoes, and sometimes I'm a really cool mom and I make both, and other times you're just gonna get one. It just kind of depends. So that's what we do for that meal. We're gonna do beer brats. I already have the brats in my freezers. I have a ton of leftover hot dog buns from my brother's grad party that we did last month. So I'm gonna, once again, trying to clean out some of my freezers. I have probably 6 bags of hot dog buns right now, so we're gonna do those this month as well. And I think I'm gonna push a lot of hot dogs for lunches to kind of clean out some of those hot dog buns. Just a couple packages. I don't need 6 packages in my freezers right now, so hopefully that'll help a little bit. For the beer brats, I will actually pre-cook them in my crock pot with a whole can of beer, some green onions, and some onions, and then I'll pull them out after a couple hours and we'll finish them off on the grill. We'll eat them in the hot dog buns, and then I think I'm the only one that tops mine with the onions and green peppers. Yes, good morning. But it's really, really good. Sometimes we top them with onion or like fresh raw onions, sauerkraut, things like that, but everybody really likes it. My rooster says hello. We're gonna do power bowls. That's another really easy meal I haven't made probably in a year. I used to eat these a lot after I had my third baby. When I was meal prepping once a week, my lunches, to make sure that I actually ate. So I'm gonna bring those back just for something that we haven't done in a while. So I'm just gonna do some rice, some black beans, probably some corn, some sort of taco-y meat, probably either ground turkey or ground beef or something. Mix that all up with some avocado, some salsa, and we'll all have some power bowls. That's another meal that I can put everything out on the counter and the kids can pick what they want to put in their bowl, and they'll be very happy with it. If I'm really cool, I might serve it with tortilla chips. I have some steaks in my freezer that we got from my husband's uncle. A lot of Joe's family raise beef, like beef cows, and he gave us some of those for Easter, basically, like in our Easter baskets. So we're gonna use some of those steaks. I don't like to keep them in the freezer that long because they're so good. I can't believe they're still in there, to be honest. So I'm gonna do those and some baked potatoes just as a really easy meal. I'm gonna make baked tacos, and this is with the hope that I can double this recipe and freeze, like cook one for now and have one for later with freezing it. I want to get one of those pre-sliced hams from Aldi. They're kind of expensive. They're depending on how big the ham you get, so typically I'll try to get a little bit of a smaller one, and we still get a couple meals out of it. But I'm just going to do that pre-sliced ham with some cheesy potatoes in my crock pot, which are super delicious. Everybody eats that meal really well, and then with whatever ham I have left over, we'll just use for sandwiches over the next couple of weeks. Everybody loves that. I might use that leftover ham for the chicken cordon bleu or something, so we'll see how it goes, but the ham will not be wasted. Another meal I saw on Pinterest this month was a one-pan Cajun chicken alfredo with kielbasa. So it has the chicken in it, kielbasa, some penne noodles, some heavy cream. It just looked really good and really easy. I like that it's a one-pan option, so I'm gonna try that and see how it goes, with the hopes that it'll be a new favorite and I can double the recipe and freeze one for later. I'm going to try to build up my freezer with some freezer meals towards heading into fall, because we're going to be really busy. So I would like to have some freezer meals in there just to take one thing off of my plate. We're gonna do breakfast for dinner, mostly because when I was making my meal plan, my brain just didn't want to work yesterday morning and I couldn't think of anything else. We haven't done breakfast for dinner in a really long time, so we're gonna do breakfast for dinner. My kids will be very, very happy. We're gonna do pasties because I still have some pasty filling in my freezer, and I recently went over to my mother-in-law's and she made pasties, but she rolled hers in her pie crust and they were delicious. They were so flaky and it was just so good. My husband could not get enough of it, so I think I'm gonna try to do the same thing. I am not an expert on my pie crusts or any sort of baking things at all. It's just, baking is so specific, and if you've watched any of my cooking videos, you know I'm kind of like I'm gonna eyeball it and see how it goes. I like to use my recipes as a roadmap and change them to how I see fit. And you can't do that with baking. That's like not how it works. It's actually a science, and there's a reason that you need things to be the certain way, and that just hurts my brain. I don't like that. So baking isn't really my thing. I'm trying to get better at it though, so I'm going to try to make my pie crusts and see how it goes. Hopefully it goes well. It's really hit or miss. Sometimes my pie crusts are awesome and they're perfect, and other times they're really dry and they're flaky, or I can't get them to roll out. So it's something that I really have to take my time with and really like focus on, and that's not always something I can do with 3 kids, like 3 little kids. So it's hard. And the last meal is always leftovers, like I said in the beginning, just to make sure we're rotating through them and just kind of limiting our food waste, because I hate throwing away food. It's one of the things I despise. And just like that, that is all 31 meals for the month of August. Make sure you subscribe, hit your bell notifications, because that's how you're gonna get notified when I post new videos, especially moving forward with my all Aldi meals and things like that. So thank you guys so much for watching. I'll link some playlists down below for you if you feel like watching some more, and I'll see you guys in my next video. Bye.
I don't wanna stay here, no. Ain't gonna keep it low now. If you wanna go, let's go. Let's wrap it up and hit the road.